Attention! The following video may contain fun, humor, profanity, personal opinions, political incorrectness, and so on. If you are under the age of 18 or are easily offended by something as simple as gendered words, then I suggest you turn this video off and watch something more suited to you. Something like Sesame Street. Don't say I didn't warn you.
How dare you!
G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to those who are possibly here for the first time. Something big has happened. No, I'm not talking about the death of Meatloaf. I have a new buggy to build, and this is kind of big for me because those that know me well, will know that I've raced X-rays for a very long time, and while not really exclusively, obviously, you know, some models weren't available when I first started racing them, so this is a big thing for me. I'm basically switching brands, and so this is going to be a build, not so much a build series, but an unboxing and build of my new WRC SBXE-1. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut to the table and have a look. So here it is, guys, the WRC SBXE-1. So this is an electric buggy, and a few people might be wondering why I went for an e-buggy and not a nitro. I absolutely love racing nitro, especially 8-scale buggy. However, due to my health, not going to go straight into it, but due to my health, standing for extended periods of time starts to become a little bit painful for me, and so, you know, 30, 45 an hour finals with nitro buggy, it gets difficult to stand in a spot for a long period of time. So I have chosen to go with an e-buggy. So this is it. So let's have a quick look at what we get inside. So in the box you get some Go Fast stickers, some window masks, you get a body and all the necessary parts and so forth. You also have shock oil and diff oil. It comes with 5,000 weight diff oil and 600 weight, or about 60 weight shock oil. And we have all the necessary parts, and you're probably having a look here and you're noticing and wondering, where's the instruction manual? Well, the instruction manual, you have to download it off the web, so that's going to be interesting for me. This will be the first, not the first, it's probably the second, maybe even third car that I've built where you have to download the instruction manual. So yeah, it's pretty much what you get in the box. However, you do need some extra items to complete it, and most of these items are quite obvious, because like any kit, whether it be a racing kit like this or a hobby grade kit, you need a few things to complete it. So you need a speed controller, motor, steering servo, batteries. You will also need wheels and tires, and you'll also need a pinion gear. So for the electronics, for steering servo, I have my high-tech HS7955TG. It's a titanium geared servo. This has, I think this is like a 23 kilo servo, so I'll be using that. I will be using my high-tech Lynx 4S for radio and receiver. If you're racing, you will need a transponder. And for the motor and speed controller, I have gone with a Hobbywing RX8 ESC and 1900 kV motor combo. So, and batteries, for racing you will need 4S LiPo batteries, and I have some HRB LiPo batteries. They're not super expensive, however I do use HRB batteries in a couple of my helicopters and have never ever had an issue with them. They've always held their balance, never swelled or anything. So for the time being I'll be using those batteries. Later on I might go to something a bit more expensive, but for the time being this is what we're going with. So what we're going to do now is I am going to do a time lapse of the build, and then we will come back and have a look. But before I go ahead, now I'm going to build this to the kit specifications. So in other words, I'm going to go build it to the kit setup, what they recommend to start off with, and when I go to run it, I'll run it as it is out of the box, and we will go from there and start some tuning. So guys, let's get on with the build and sit back and relax and enjoy. Alright guys, so finished the buggy. I didn't do like a full, didn't capture like where I installed the speed controller and soldered the wires and everything. I didn't bother to show the painting of the body as well. I mean, that was nothing, wasn't really necessary to film that. Plus it would have been a little bit time consuming. So it's done. Everything's all wired up and so forth. So might as well just cut straight to the table and have a look. So here it is, guys. It is done. I decided to do a one color wonder. I know a lot of people even say, "Oh, what's the go?" You know, because a lot of people know I do a lot of fancy paint schemes. This time I just felt like doing something simple for a change. The color is Parma Fast Change Red, and what I did is it's painted it in the Fast Change Red. It's an airbrush color, so painted it like that. Then I did a very light coat of Parma Fast Pearl Gold, so you can kind of see that gold tinge, and then I backed it with black. At the moment I've just got some Proline tires on it. What are they? These are Proline, give me a second guys, Proline side locks. So that's just at the moment. But yeah, so the build went really well. This is my first electric 8-scale buggy that I've built, and I'm quite happy with it. Went together smoothly. So let's pop the hood, as they say. I had to, because of the batteries that I'm using, I had to raise the front post just so I can the battery will fit under the shell. In fact, oh no, it's coming off. Okay, so here we are under the hood. So as I said before, I'm using a Hobbywing XR8 Pro, and we have the Hobbywing 1900 kV motor. The batteries I'm using are these, for the moment, are these HRB 6000 milliamp hour 4-cell packs, and they came with XT90 plugs. So put an XT90 plug on the speed controller. We've got the high-tech HS7955TG titanium geared servo. That's what I'm using for steering. The electronics are all packed away in here. It was actually a surprise for me. Like on previous cars that I've built, whether it be 8 scale or 10 scale and that, there's always like a little section to put your what do you call it, the antenna, but that's not there, so it's all tucked away in there. I'll have to do a quick test of it in the backyard to make sure there's no interference or anything. I may have to 3D print something just in case. Yeah, so it all went well. What I did have to do, one little modification, because these battery packs are fairly tall, I've decided to mount them sideways. So what I've done is there's already like a little marking here. If I just move that out of the way, you can just see the little marking there. What I've done is I've just carved out a little notch there. You probably can't see it, but it is there, trust me guys. I've put that there so the positive wire just sits in there, doesn't get crimped. I used a when it came to the mounting the speed controller, I did use a fairly thick double-sided gel. It's a bit like vibration absorption gel, so it's got a little bit of give in it, so it protects it from the hard landings. And I've done, as I mentioned in the start of the video, I'm doing the kit setup. So it's 600 CST oil for the shocks and 5000 CST oil for all 3 diffs. And what I did do is, with the bearings, before I installed them in, I used some Team Orion Free Revs bearing oil. With the CV joints, I used some Tamiya anti-wear grease, and you don't have to use a lot of it. It's really sticky, so it doesn't get flung off. And when I built the shocks for like the O-rings and so forth, I used this Factory Team green slime. So that's what I've used to put this together. So the obvious question is, when am I going to run it? To be perfectly blunt, the weather's been kind of crap for the past week. It's either been too windy, too wet. So hopefully, maybe in the next week after I film this and upload it, I'll be out there doing some testing on this, getting used to it. So yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any comments or any questions, don't hesitate to comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.